the world is lasting. And also, you can't have a Sefer Torah. Imagine, you can't have a Sefer Torah. You're going to shul, you're going to daven, you're going to pray, going to daven in a shul, right? And all of a sudden, you open up the Aron HaKadosh, no Sefer Torah. No Sefer Torah. What happened? What are you going to do? Well, if there's no Sefer Torah, how are you going to learn? And also, you can't even mention any of the halachas from the top of things what I mentioned of Sefer Torah and learning Torah. Now, Yidden had a new name called Greshen. We couldn't say we're Yidden. Imagine that. Imagine we had to go under the name of Yudi, of a Yid. You know, which of course I'm very proud of being a Yid. I mean, I couldn't find anything better about being a Yid. Baruch Hashem. And also, Kohanim couldn't serve in the Beis Hamikdash. So if Kohanim couldn't serve in the Beis Hamikdash at that time, well, then there really was no point of the Beis Hamikdash. And another thing was, as I mentioned before, Yidden were not allowed to. We're not allowed to celebrate Yom Tov. The Greeks built getchkiks. They built the idols in the Beis Hamikdash. And another thing that happened, Yidden had to eat from Avodah Zarah. Imagine that. You had to eat chazeres. You had to eat a pig. Chazer. And we don't mean chazer in Gemara. We mean chazer like a pig. We had to eat pig. They forced us to eat pig. Another thing what the Greeks did, another thing what we're celebrating about is that the Greeks stole our money. Remember I said that we won the Greeks and we got very rich. We got back all that money that they stole. We got that plus more. And also in Mitzrayim did not let us learn. They did not let us do a lot of mitzvahs. And you see what happened to Mitzrayim? It went down. It went all the way down. Like Antiochus, the Greeks also went down. Rome is also went down. So you see, everybody who goes against Yidden who do give mitzvahs and Torah, Hashem takes revenge for them. Of course, we have to do our thing to make sure that the world gives us a positive impression and say, it's good to be a Jew. So yeah, it's all the time good to say, let's say you're going on a bus. You're going on a bus and you say, good morning to the driver. That's a Kiddush Hashem. You saying Kiddush Hashem to the driver, it's a very big thing to Kiddush Hashem. You saying goodbye, have a great day to a driver. You being nice to a guy is a big Kiddush Hashem. It makes a Goyim think very highly of us. Even believe it or not, even though you may think that wasn't me saying hello to a guy is gonna help, right? But yeah, but makes an impression. They look at us and they say, wow, that's a Yid. He compliments. A Yid compliments. A Yid is all about complimenting, all about doing good things for the world. That's what a Yid is about. Another thing is, you weren't allowed to have doors. Imagine you're going home, Kindle, and in your house, there is no doors. There's no doors. There's no doors. So what do you do without doors? How are you going to hide? Well, believe it or not, the Yidden actually did have a secret door behind bookshelves. They put a whole bunch of bookshelves there. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Yidden hid a whole bunch of stuff. And you know what? And that's one of the reasons we were safe. Because we were doing L'Shem Shemayim, and even though we were suffering then. And we had so many things going against us. But the Yidden then said, you know what? We're going to keep on going. Like, I'm going to give an example. I'm going to go back to 1948 when the Yidden came out from the concentration camps. When they came out from concentration camps, you know what? They were happy to be Yidden. Forget about living. They were happy to be Yidden. I mean, they were happy to be alive, but, you know, that made some Yidden, they didn't understand. Some Yidden didn't even understand. Didn't understand why Hashem do this to us. But you know what? Hashem was doing this to us probably because we needed tshuva. There's some reason why. We just don't know the reason. But they came to America, and you know what? They were Moise Nefesh. For you, Kinderlach, your great-grandparents were Moise Nefesh. They came to America. They said, hey, you know what? The boss said, no keeping Shabbos. It was like the Greeks. No keeping Shabbos. You can't keep Shabbos here. You're in America. Right? You're in America. You can't keep Shabbos. And the other said, I'm sorry, I can't work on Shabbos. Okay, the boss said, well, if you can't work on Shabbos, you can't come in to the work on Sunday. Bye. And they used to slam the door in the face of anybody who didn't want to work on Shabbos. So if you didn't want to go to work on Shabbos, sometimes you had a good luck. And okay, the boss was a nice guy. And Kindle, believe it or not, the time flies by so quickly. Yeah, and it's already 7:50. Well, Nissan, I don't understand. It's a nest that, we're talking about Chanuka, and the time is mamish flying by here.
I want to say something. I think to something a small stuff. You know what? Many times when you go dark, very very dark. And you don't see almost pitch. What do you call it? Choshech Mitzrayim.
Choshech, yeah.
Choshech Mitzrayim. Like that. You don't see
that's
nothing.
Why I mentioned Chanuka is on the shortest of day.
But you know what? A small light, tiny light,
spark, yeah.
A small spark can make all differences.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I know the Jewish people are basically as it. We are the spark of the world, and we have to be proud about it. This is something that it's so unique. People don't understand what it's all about to be Jewish, and all our children, our kids. Many times, we're falling to this. The everyday nonsense, and don't look and the real light, what is really important to be a Jewish and how to keep Jewish, the story about the guy that in the Independence War, with Washington.
War. No, I don't believe I know. You know this?
Okay, the story is like this. It's a very famous story. And one of the reasons also on I think in a dollar bill you have like the Star of David over there.
Okay.
The story is like this: that Washington went to fight with a group of soldiers, so-called soldiers, people that coming all over the world just to come here to America, and they come to fight with against the British, and I think it was in Pennsylvania, one of the major places they were going to attack the British, and it's winter. Cold. Everybody was sitting, trying to at night prepare themselves to fight in the morning. And suddenly, Washington see a small light in the danger, and he was like so furious. So who's going to open the light? This to do that. Otherwise, the enemy, the British, will discover us that we are trying to ambush them. And he jumped over to the engine and he jumped on it. And he see guy, he said, what, you crazy? You are a spy? What you are? He told him, no, I'm a Jew. And tonight is Chanuka. And I'm lighting the night. And he basically told Washington the story about Chanuka, that how small people, a few people, won against the mighty army of the Greek. And he keep listening to this. And then they finish, and in the morning, they went fight and won the war, basically. After a year, somebody, he took the name of the soldier of this, after a year, somebody knocked on the door of this soldier home with a big, big purple heart, and he gave him a reward, and he said, because of you, we won. And he said, what do you mean? He told him that he wasn't sure at all that with this group of people, non-professional, not the people that coming, just he collect them from the against the professional army, and this is giving the power to fight and not to get defeat themselves, to run away. And he gave him the word. The story is in the Smithsonian Museum.
Well,
So this is something very, very, and there's something that people don't understand. We as the people, and especially people, but kids has a more sense to this. That yes, we can win, and you can win, and every kid, as we know, this the slogan of this show. Everybody has a talent. Everyone can win and do whatever they want, as long as they're going with the art, full art. Don't give to yourself, do silly stuff and after you regret it. Don't do, tricks, because the only thing that you can trick, it's only yourself.
right. The
Right?
only person who you can fool is yourself.
Yeah.
That's true. Anyways, going back, I said I was going to talk about Hanukkah, and I was going to talk about Hannah. That's in the Hanukkah story, and how she risked her life, how she risked her kids' lives. Her kids all were murdered. L'shem l'shamayim. They said, "No, we're not bowing down." Well, anyways, here's the story. Antiochus was very determined. He wanted to be very strict upon the Yidden, to destroy their attachment to the Yidden. Now, what makes a Yid a Yid? That you're having your attachment, that you are attached to the Torah, that you're learning Torah, that you're learning Torah and keeping the Torah. That makes you a Yid. And if you stop learning, you know what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen is, slowly but surely, it doesn't come right away. Like, let's say you hang around bad friends. It doesn't come right away. One day this, one day this, oh, the next day this. All of a sudden, you look back and you see, wow, oh my goodness, Ribono Shel Olam, what did I do? How did I do this happen? How did I make myself be like this? But it happens very slowly. The Yetzer Hara has its tricks. Like we learned in last week's Parshas Vayishlach, we learned that Yaakov fought the Satan. He fought the Yetzer Hara. He fought the Malach Shel Esav, which was the Yetzer Hara. The Malach Shel Esav, he said, "Man, what's my name? My name? What my name? My name?" Like playing a trick on Yaakov, That's his name. His name is Tricky. His name is Trickster. He tricks. That's his name. That's why that was good enough for Yaakov to say, "Oh, your name is Tricky. Okay, now I know everything about you." Anyways, well, after this, Antiochus didn't want people to keep Shabbos, people to keep other mitzvahs. Well, there was this governor of Judea and a place in Eretz Yisrael called Judea, and this Philip was appointed governor, and he was very on top of the king's decrees. He found any doing a Avera, offing his head. Now there was a Lazar. No, he didn't like. He didn't like to do what Philip said. Anyways, soon afterwards, there was a story with Hannah and her 7 kids. Hannah and her 7 kids were arrested when the king, who was returning to Antioch, heard about the events that were taking place. He decided, you know what? I'm going to make sure the decrees are passed. The mother and her sons were bound, and they were brought on a horse and buggy, and they were brought before the king. Antiochus tried to convince the oldest boy, "Tell me, why do you bother with this long speech?" The boy said. "Why are you making us have your terrible religion?" And the king said, "How dare you?" And the kid said, "I tell you how I dare." And the king ordered the boy's body parts to be cut and placed on a fire. Now, obviously, this king, I'm not sure this king was 100%, but he was very, he wanted all Yidden not to keep Torah mitzvahs. That's how much he hated the Yidden keeping Torah mitzvahs. And as a matter of fact, most of the time when Yidden are attacked, when you are a Yid, a Yiddish kindle, a Jewish child, a Yiddish kid is attacked, is because, you know why? They're jealous. They're jealous of you. You're living life happily and, you know what, satisfied. And look at the Goyim. They're so unhappy. Always fighting with each other, most of the time at least. Anyways, I have a few more minutes left, just to one more minute. And what happened was at the end, all Chana's 7 boys, all the Chana's 7 children was killed. And Chana went over and told the king about the youngest child, let me just give him a hug. And the king said, you better convince him. And anyways, Kindlech, the time has run out. Sorry. I know it's a very interesting story. The time just passes by. As I said, every week, next week I won't be here. I'm going to be repeating the riddle right now. The question, what did the brothers mean by V'chisiana as damai, dipping the blood? The answer will be on the next week's show. Not this week, but the next show I give. You can text me all week long. 347-927-3279. This has been a Kishroni Hour. And I won't be here next week. I will be back in 2 weeks for Official Shachta follows me. And don't go away. Simcha by Simcha is after Official Shachta. Have a great Shabbos.
Anytime for everyone. This is jrootradio.com.